Alright guys, welcome back. Welcome back to another stepping stone. Today, I want to talk about a man named XXXTENTACION. I feel like this is a strange video and you're probably like, what the who the is that guy? Maybe you've never heard of him. And that's okay. I feel like I'm getting better at just talking about things, just ideas that come up that excite me and that I want to talk about and are meaningful to me. And so I guess like I've been listening to a lot of X today, and I feel like it's prompted a lot of memories, and I want to talk about it. For a very long time, I've felt a lot of respect for XXXTentacion. He is dead. He is no longer with us. But he's been a very influential and impactful person in my life. And I feel like for a very long time, I was afraid to admit that or talk about that or be open about that. X was a person who, if you know a lot about him, you probably know that he was kind of controversial at times. Definitely a very troubled and chaotic mind and person. And so for a very long time, I feel like this was like peak of, or like the rise of cancel culture, like 2017 and beyond. And I feel like I feel like I've held back from talking or discussing or being open about things, a lot of different things, for a very long time because of my fear of judgment, my fear of criticism, fearing that I would like get canceled or people would like confront me or be like super angry, super combative. And I've talked about that a lot, my difficulty with confrontation and emotional or serious topics. But that's something I'm trying to work on. And the stepping stone is to work on that. So let's talk about it, guys. 3 minutes in, oh man. I think something that really, really struck me about X, the first time I ever heard him was, as with a lot of people probably, his song Look at Me. The one that goes, hey, look at me. It was a super hype, super like chaotic, super popular song for a while. And yeah, that's like how I first heard about him. And then I was like, wow, that's a crazy song. Like, that's unique. I've never heard anything like that. Kind of profane and a little like rugged for my taste, but that's kind of cool, kind of fun. Whatever, didn't really think much of it. And then months later, I heard about his release of the album 17. And I remember sitting in my living room on Discord. I was messaging a friend about it, or he showed me it, I forget what. And I remember putting it on and listening, and I was like in disbelief. I was like, what the heck? Like, there's no way. Like, this is the same guy that wrote Look at Me. This album, like, if you're unaware, like 17 is just completely different. Just completely different. A whole other side of him. And it was just, I felt like it was just so raw and like vulnerable. Just very genuine and authentic. And talked about a lot of things that you didn't really hear or see people talk about. Things that were stigmatized, or I felt like people would like judge you or shit on you for being like, oh, like for being like emotional or crying or, you know, talking about like these really dark things. And it really stuck with me and really resonated, and I was really fascinated. I remember like looking through his like Wikipedia and just like trying to learn about him. I was like, what the heck, who is this guy? And I feel like that's a really beautiful thing, like that we're influenced and can be like really highly impacted by someone. Like for someone on the other side of the screen, that might be me. For me, it's been dozens of different people in different fields, whether it's like psychology, music, like all these kind of things. It's a really cool thing. But anyways, yeah, I mean, I was really fascinated by him, and I started to follow him then after that album. And I watched a lot of his interviews, and he was clearly a very troubled person, but I really respected that he was very honest and open about it. It felt like he accepted himself and the good, the bad, and the ugly. There's definitely some very questionable things, especially when it came to his relationship. I know there was a lot of... I'm not really super honed in on the details and what actually ended up happening with like court cases and stuff, but there were a lot of like serious allegations about him, and if they're true, then I mean, yeah, not not pretty stuff. It's dark stuff. And I think it's possible to both appreciate an artist without supporting or condoning them wholeheartedly in all they do. I mean, everyone's human, everyone's flawed, everyone fucks up. Some people fuck up way more than others. But I feel like it's easy to judge someone for the darkest hours. But something I really believe in is like, maybe you've heard it, this idea of like, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. When it comes to things like trauma, you know, this is obviously a person, he had a very rough upbringing, a lot of traumatic experiences, I'm sure. And it's not to excuse some of the things he did, but it does help to understand. And I feel like it's one of my favorite phrases these days. And I feel like he's a very, I guess, good example of that. He definitely did things that are wrong. I guess I felt a lot of fascination in like trying to understand and also be compassionate, because for most of my life, even the people who have hurt me and traumatized me, like I remember in high school, I was a very observational person. I would try and like observe and understand like bullies and like, why are they bullies? Like, why do they do this? And I feel like it almost always stems from something that happened, some event in their childhood, or a rough house life, or lack of a parent, you know, all these things. I feel like it's helped me to understand and be a lot more like empathetic and compassionate with other people, even the people who were dickheads and and hurt me in a lot of ways. And yeah, I guess I just really admired how open he was, and I feel like his music was very versatile, and I feel like in a lot of ways he really impacted me in a lot of those same values. Like, one, I feel like, I mean, my YouTube channel right now feels very all over the place. And that's something that I struggle with a lot, and I feel a lot of fear, I guess, sometimes. But I also feel, I don't know, I feel assured that if I just do right by me and do what feels right to me, even if it's some weird ass niche topic like this, it's gonna come out to be something interesting and authentic. And maybe the hope is that throughout my channel and throughout my life, I can kind of be that same spark for other people. And I don't know, I think it's a really beautiful thing. And I was actually really distraught and really sad when I heard about his passing. He got killed. People were trying to rob him for money, basically. And it was really hard. I remember crying. And I think the only celebrity I'd ever cried for before was Michael Jackson when he died, who was also very influential on me, but when I was much more young. Also Tesseract. Boom, shout out Tesseract. But yeah, man. I guess like I feel like I have like suppressed, bottled up things I've wanted to talk about for like 10 years. Or like 8 years that I just never talked to, or never felt like I could talk to people with, or people would understand, or people would connect with it. But now I have my YouTube channel, so I can talk about anything I want. And so yeah, I guess that's basically about it. And I hope to do more videos and just talk about stuff. I feel like there's things I've missed out on that I need to catch up the world on. I don't know if anyone will listen, but it doesn't really matter. That's not in my control. All I can do is put something out into the void and see what happens. So I'm gonna do that. I'm curious what will happen with this one. Maybe nothing, maybe a lot. Who knows? Doesn't matter too much. It feels like it matters, but it's okay. It is what it is. Anyways, that's about it. Let me know what you guys think. Drop your comments, even if you disagree, even if you freaking hate the man or you hate me now. Drop it in the comments. Let's talk about it, bro. Yeah, I think that was one of the huge fears, was that I would like get hate and like a lot of animosity and stuff. I think I'm ready to handle it appropriate now and set healthy boundaries, but it is still a little scary to think about potential emotionally charged responses, I guess, but it is what it is. All right, that's all. Peace.